Alright, boys and girls, it's time for the solutions to homework 10. Alright, so our first one, yes, it's really that long on the line. I had to zoom out to fit it all on one screen. Anyway, it looks really long. That's because it is. Okay? But don't panic. Split it up into the parts. So this OR here is going to split our problem into two groups. We got the group on the right and the group on the left. The left is really long, the right one not so bad. So let's just deal with the left side right now. Let's get the hard part out of the way and then we'll deal with the easy stuff. Hard part, you have two sides. You got your right side, you got your left side, and then your little symbol in the middle, okay? Now break it down into even smaller pieces. Just look at the left side, okay? The left side has a bunch of numbers and then an X. So we need to get all this so it's just two terms. We'll have a term that has an X and then a term without an X. So we're going to simplify the left side and then we'll work on the right side and simplify from there. Once you got both sides simplified, then trying to get your variable on one of the sides is a lot easier to deal with. Okay, so this is a strategy for problem solving, is breaking it down into smaller chunks that you know how to do rather than trying to do the whole thing once. Well, you can't. Just break it down. Left side. Here, I notice I got a 6 and a negative 6 in front of the parentheses. I'm going to distribute. Negative 6 times 2 gets me negative 12. Negative 6 times negative 3x gets me positive 18x, because negative times negative is positive. And don't forget the 4 out front. Okay? Left side now looks a lot easier to deal with. We're going to combine the 4 and the subtract 12 to get negative 8. And then the 18 is still there. And now we'll look at the right side. The inequality sign just comes down. Alright, negative 2 times 1 gets you negative 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And then you got subtract 16 on the end. Okay, this one you can combine like terms again. There's only one term with a variable, this is middle one, but the other two don't, and we can combine those. Negative 2 and subtract 16 gets you negative 18. And then you have the negative 2x. Okay, at this point, now both sides are simplified as much as they can be, and you can choose which side you want your variable on. Personally, I look here on the left, and I got 18x. On the right side, I got negative 2x. So, since the left side is already big and positive, I'm choosing the left side for my variable. So if I want the left side to be my variable, I need to get rid of it on the right. And you get rid of the subtract 2 on the right side by adding 2. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. Left side, we got negative 8 plus 18x plus 2x is 20x. Still less than, because we haven't divided by a negative. And now we're at this point, I want to get rid of the 8 on the left side, so I'm going to add 8, and we got 20x less than negative 10, because negative 18 plus 8 is negative 10. Now, I just need to get rid of the 20 in front of the x, so I'll divide by the 20, and I'm at x is less than negative 1/2, because 10 is half of 20, so when you reduce it all, you get 1/2, and the negative stays out front. So our left side got this guy. X is less than negative 1/2. Okay, now let's look at the right side. We got 3x greater than 20 minus x. Greater than or equal to 20 minus x. Since I already have the variable on the left, it's almost by itself, I'm going to move the one on the right. So I'm going to add x to both sides. On the left side I get 4x. Right side doesn't have an x anymore, but it's got the 20 still. And now I'm going to get rid of the 4 in front of the x by dividing by 4. And now you got x is greater than or equal to 4. Wait, what am I smoking? No, it's not 4. It's 5. Yeah, because 20 divided by 4 is not 4, it's 5. So the right side's done. Now I'm at this point where I've solved both of them, and then I got this OR statement. So x is less than negative 1/2, or x is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, your next step would be to graph this, and I'm going to make a little bit of space here in the middle to put in my graph. Your page probably won't have this candy feature where you can just erase stuff, but mine does, and so I'm taking advantage of it. And you start out with a number line. I'm going to put 0 here, and I need to get up to 5, so I should count up at least 5. And then I need to get down to negative 1/2, which is down in this region. So let's put a few tick marks down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now that I got this, I'm going to graph my x is less than negative 1/2 part. Negative 1/2 is here-ish. It's an open circle because there's no line under the less than symbol, and I'm going to shade left because x is less than negative 1/2. All these numbers over here are less than negative 1/2. Graphing the right side, we got x is greater than or equal to 5. I'm going to put a circle at 5, and I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to fill it in because it has a line underneath. That line means fill in. Okay, and now I'm going to shade to the right because x is bigger than 5. So I need to shade the numbers that are bigger than 5. And so now I have both of these graphed. I look at my statement. I'm looking at OR to know what the actual answer is when you have an OR statement is to look at anything that got shaded at all. Once you know what got shaded, that is what your answer is. And so if we were to write this in interval notation, this section here would go from negative infinity to negative 1/2. I would have a curved bracket on the end. This part here on the right side starts at 5, goes to positive infinity, curly bracket at infinity every time. And since 5 got filled in, I'm going to put a square bracket there. And this is really a long explanation, but it was a really long problem. And that's all of it.